Hello, testing, 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 testing. Is this thing on? Yo, welcome to the Shady Monkey Show. We have a special guest all the way from South Africa, Eddie.
What up, everybody?
He's a big deal in the Chinese cinema scene.
Well, we've got to keep the modesty. Still a work in progress.
Right. Well, let's, before we get into it, I want to thank our sponsor, Oriental Distillery Company out of Zhuhai. Got some Navy gin here to enjoy.
Interesting.
Hope you're a gin lover.
Yeah, actually, it's my go-to.
Yeah, me too, man. I love, like, it's like refreshing. I don't know if you want it strong, you want a little ease into it.
I'm not a young buck, you know, so...
Fill it to the ice.
Fill it to the ice.
You want a piece of lemon?
Yes, please.
All right. You got your own soda water?
Yeah, I'm going to use my soda water here.
Go with the classic tonic. So you're on a no sugar diet?
Yeah,
Deal? You got to keep your movie body?
Yeah, something like that. I've been off sugar for quite a while now. Cheers. That's good gin.
That's really good gin.
Yeah, very nice. Nice and smooth.
Yeah,
No, I'm off sugar now for, going on 2 years. Maybe a little bit longer.
Was it mostly because of the movie business or health? Or?
I think it's more a health decision. Yeah. I was, in my young years, I was a bit of a sweet tooth, but not too heavily. And then, I just kind of fell out of the whole sugar thing. So if I do eat chocolate, it'll be that 80% cocoa.
Mm-hmm. The bitter.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a bitterness to it, that's for sure. When I drink coffee, like I'll drink a latte, but no sugar.
Yeah, that's my go-to coffee.
Yeah, and it has to be an iced coffee, that's for sure. Because in this heat, in Shenzhen, guys, Shenzhen is hot.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, I always tell people, like, Shenzhen's a great city. It's a fucking city of opportunity.
Oh, straight
like anything you want to do, you can accomplish here.
Yeah.
You got to grind, But the summertime is the worst.
Well, thank God for AC, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, in your business, you're probably filming outside. And
let me tell you. So it's quite funny in the sense that when we are filming winter scenes, it's for some reason we're always filming in summer.
Really?
And then when it's summer scenes, we're always filming in winter. So if you're doing an outside scene, think about it, you're in summer clothes, but it's like, 8 degrees Celsius. You're like, and then they say action, and then you got to stop shivering. And you got to so, you got to be all natural. And then they say cut, and it's like, okay, where's my... And then in summertime, it's the opposite, where it's like you're just sweating profusely. You're wearing winter clothing. So
right, the full jackets and pants and scarves.
So I did this TV show called Qiu Zhuang Shandian, Ball Lightning. So it's based on some scientific theory, but so all of my scenes, I'm playing a retired Russian scientist. So I had to put on the accent, my friend.
Right.
And there was one outside scene that we did, and I'm wearing like leather pants, long pants, just by the way. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, a jersey, and a big leather jacket. And we're filming in 42 degrees Celsius weather because it's a winter scene, so got to have all these clothes on. Mm-hmm. And as soon as the director would say cut, the portable air conditioners guys would come running out, and then makeup staff would all come running out just to clean the sweat off of our face. In the post-credits, I'll show you a photo of what I look like. You can just see my long-sleeve shirt is just drenched.
Just soaked.
Now,
is there a reason why they're filming summer scenes in winter, or in winter scenes in summer, or just because that's how the production schedule went?
So sometimes it's when they book a set, it might be that the only available time is that particular time in summer, for example.
Right, because winter's booked out.
Because winter's booked out. So, then in the schedule, it's a winter scene. You've got no choice. You just got to grin and bear it.
Right.
But with some shoots with some productions, for example, maybe a TVC, they might actually want to release that TVC in winter per se.
Right.
So that's why they'll choose winter clothing, because it's seasonal related, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into, like, so let's just go back a little bit. So you're from South Africa.
Yeah.
And one day, this is a question I usually ask everybody who's here, because like one day you decided to come to China.
Yeah. And that's
Like,
an interesting story.
Or like you were looking for a job and you're like, I need to get out of South Africa. Like, what was the
What was the mindset? Right?
what was the mindset and what made you make the decision?
Okay, so interesting story. 2006, I went with my folks to go to England, to London, and then we went and spent some time in Ireland. And
Is that where your family's from?
well, my father's originally, his side of the family are from Ireland, and my mother's side of the family are from Germany. But they came, my mother's side of the family, they were like part of the first settlers.
In South Africa.
Yeah, so like in the 1600s,
I thought.
1700s, they came to South Africa. So, and they were part of the Great Migration into the interior, where Johannesburg is today. My father's side of the family, they came. I think I'm the fourth generation. Yeah, fourth generation.
And on your mom's side, do you know what generation you are?
Oh, sheesh, good question. To be honest, I don't know actually, but yeah, probably the 10th generation, or maybe even longer.
Wow.
So so we went on this holiday, and when we were at Heathrow Airport going back to South Africa, the flight was overbooked. So of course, the airline company came past, said, who would like to give up their seat?
Give you some free tickets or some shit?
So that was my question. I'm like, okay, I mean, I don't mind giving up my seat. You know, my dad had to get back because he had to get back to work. My mom, she had to get back for work. And my sister, she didn't have to get back. So I said, well, what are you guys giving us? They said, we'll put you in a 4-star hotel. We'll give you £50 spending money. And we'll give you a free international ticket to any destination you choose, round trip.
Wow.
So I was like, count me in.
That's great.
And then I looked at my sister and I'm like, come on now, what an opportunity. So my sister and I, we gave up our seats. Long story short, we got these tickets. I was planning to go back to the UK to actually work and just try and maybe further my studies and whatnot. And one of my mates, I don't know if you remember the vet.
The vet, no.
D, we called him D, South African bloke.
Maybe his face. I'm terrible with names.
He had the two twins.
Yeah. No.
Okay, Sophisticate was the DJ.
Oh.
So his brother.
Okay,
Yeah. So so he came back to South Africa for a holiday, and he'd already been in Shenzhen for like a year teaching in kindergarten. And I ran into him because I was managing an Irish pub in South Africa in my hometown called Hartbeespoort. And so he came and he's like, yeah, and so I tell him the story about my free ticket, and that he's like, what are your plans? I'm like, oh yeah, I might go to the UK. He's like, dude, no, come to Shenzhen. And I'm like
Never
Shenzhen?
even heard of it.
Never even heard of it, dude. I remember that night sitting on the computer, like Googling, like, Shenzhen, what is this place?
Right.
And I remember seeing the first photo of Diwang Dasha.
Right. I
So-
mean, 2006, right?
Yeah, so 2007.
That's the only big building there was, you know? And-
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
And so I essentially, spoke to my folks about it. My folks were like, China? Are you sure?
Yeah, I got the free ticket.
I got the free ticket. Like, it's not going to cost you a penny, you know? I got some savings and whatnot. So long story short, I decided to get I originally wanted to get a 1 year visa. But my dad's like, well, do a 6 month just in case. I said, okay, well, 6 month visa, let's do it. Came over, and as they would say, the rest is history. I fell in love with the city, and yeah, that's 16 years ago.
Wow, that's a long time. 16 years. Wow.
Yeah, 2007 May came here.
Yeah, so you got to see
The real expansion of Shenzhen.
the real expansion. I mean, I came over. I mean, my first time here was 2003, but I wasn't living. It was just like flying in, go to the factory, fly out. So I really didn't get to see for like 10 years. I didn't get to see. I mean, I saw the city, but I really didn't get to see the city.
Right.
You know, until I decided to move here.
When did you decide to actually move here?
I was like 2011, I guess.
2011. Okay.
Like
Yeah,
around
yeah
then.
you've been here quite a while as well,
So-
man. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got
Yeah,
a good 5 years.
I'm, as they would say in Chinese, Shenzhen Tong.
Right.
I'm like a local here
And it was
almost.
so different back then.
Oh, man.
was
Like,
so-
I mean, you could get away
With
with
anything.
anything.
I mean, we got some stories, but
Oh, yeah. No, some stories, that's for sure. But we'll save that for another day.
save that for another. Yeah.
So, yeah, essentially came over as a teacher and whatnot.
When you came over, like, you already had the job, or is this like, oh, fuck it, I'm just gonna go check out the city and then start job hunting?
Apparently had a job that was scheduled for me. But
Through Sophisticate?
No. It was through another South African that had been here for a while. But then that ended up just being like a bunch of bullshit. You know, arrived here and it's like, nah, well, sorry. So then we got set up with an agent, a real dodgy agent, in all honesty. That was my first like real taste. Like, you got to watch your back here. You know?
Right.
This is the Wild West. You know, gunslinging. Almost, you want to almost say
And
like,
then, like again, like the businesses were fucking more freestyle and ruthless.
yeah. I mean,
know?
guys were taking chances left, right, and center.
Yeah.
You know, so
Visas were not such a big deal back then.
yeah.
Or the proper certificates
Yeah,
for work.
yeah, as you would say,
You
yeah,
know?
it was, like I said, the Wild West, man, or the Wild East.
Yeah.
And then, did that and decided I'm not going to work for a boss. Started doing my own thing, private tutoring. And then, 2014 was my first real taste of like big budget acting. I mean, I did stage acting in high school and things like that. Did the Mikado and did, stage acting.
So like when you're young, it was something that you were interested.
Yeah, I definitely had an interest in it.
But you never thought that it would become like your
my
full-time
staple diet. Yeah,
staple.
yeah.
Put bread on the table.
Yeah, no. I mean, there were times where, as a young kid, my aunt or my parents or cousins would ask, "What do you want to be when you're older?" And my first answer would always be, "I'd like to be an actor." So there's always been that passion, and I would say if you want to get involved in this industry, it has to be about passion.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're working 15, 16 hours a day. I think my longest that I ever worked was almost a full day, 23 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some horror stories about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're not constantly filming.
Yeah.
There are times where you're off, where they don't need you on set. So that's where you make sure you've got a recliner camper chair.
Right.
So you catch a few Z's.
You put that in your contract?
No, I've got a camper chair. It goes everywhere with me. I swear.
Take your own
Like
chair.
people are like, you are definitely a professional.
Yeah, you've been-
you smart motherfucker.
You've been to this rodeo before.
yeah. This guy knows what he's doing.
Right, the necessities. You need a good chair.
Oh man, the
You know?
necessities.
That one that you can like snooze in.
Oh man, it's got like a little built-in pillow.
Can you just have like a little footrest?
I found the little feet rest things. Those break quite easily. Those
okay.
the foot rest.
It's not durable.
Yeah, so it's better just to have your legs. If your back can recline, you
And
can.
your neck's comfortable.
And your neck's comfortable. Yeah, that's all you need.
So what you said, 2014?
Yeah, so that was a Jackie Chan movie.
So hold on. So like you saw like a friend was like, hey, I need like some actors, some extras. Like how'd you like first like find out about it? And
Okay,
then,
so you know Pax, right? Canadian
DJ Pax.
Yeah. So he reaches out to me. He's like, listen, there's an agent. There's a big movie. It's a Jackie Chan movie. They need extras. Are you interested? And I was like, yeah, I'm interested for sure. So that's how I found out. I got hold of the agent, and funny enough, that particular agent, I've been working with him for 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long relationship.
Yeah. And he's got me some pretty decent gigs. There's a little small movie that came out recently called The Wandering Earth, Liu Lang Di Chel. So for the viewers out there, check it out. Number 2, Liu Lang Di Chel. And he got me a decent speaking role in that.
Wow, that's awesome.
For example, the first one grossed just under $700 million US. So like I said, a very small movie.
Yeah, tiny.
Tiny. Yeah, low budget.
Fuck. So we'll get back
Yeah,
to that.
we'll get back to that just now. Yeah.
Jackie Chan. So the agent's like, yeah, you look good.
Yeah.
Like you have to send like pictures and shit like
Oh
that.
yeah, we had to send some photos, and I had, at this
What
point
was the
I was already thinking of doing this, so I did have some photos and stuff, not
Like a little
particularly
model card or-
professional. Yeah, little model card, a couple of photos and whatnot, and so that's the one thing that as I've grown in this industry, you learn, if you want to really be professional in this industry, you got to have your finger on the button. You got to have your video works. You got to have your model card, your PDF, everything needs
Your
to be
reel.
your reel, your show reel. Yeah, that all needs to be updated regularly.
Yeah.
So going back to this Tianjiang Shongshi, which is Dragon Blade,
That's the Jackie Chan movie.
that was the Jackie Chan movie. So we on set. We were playing the role of Roman soldiers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So and it's basically said about the story. I don't know if you've heard the story about the lost Roman legion.
No.
Yeah. So there's a story where the Romans ventured out to the east, and a legion ventured out into the east, and they got lost in the Gobi Desert. So apparently there is a minority group in China where they've got like the blue eyes and like green eyes and stuff. I'm not exactly sure which province it's in, but I think it's up in Gansu province. That's where the Gobi Desert is. So the story, it's a fictitious story, but there's some historical basis to it. And this is quite a cool story because I actually met Jackie Chan, and he, long story short, he did recommend me for another movie that he did out in Macau called Skip Trace with Johnny Knoxville.
Oh, really?
But we'll get to that. So essentially on the set, we're in the middle of the desert in summertime, wearing all of these, Roman outfits and whatnot. I've got some photos.
It's like
which are-
armor and spears and
well,
things like
yeah, swords and spears, and like you got your armor. Very well done costumes, I must be honest. So I want to go to the coffee and tea tent just to get myself some coffee.
So that's like the catered area for the
Yeah,
actors.
yeah.
Coffee and tea tent.
Yeah, and they got like biscuits and some snacks and things like that. And I'm walking there, and I see a bunch of rubbish lying around the rubbish bin. So I just start picking it up. Unbeknownst to me, Jackie Chan is there with his makeup staff, his hairdressers, his costume department, or the costume guy. And he notices me picking up rubbish, and he's very conscious about, looking after the planet and don't pollute it, recycle and things like that. And so I'm picking up today, and next minute I see Jackie Chan right next to me, and he says to me, "You're the first person I've seen picking up rubbish on set." And I was like, "No, impossible."
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm like blown away. I'm starstruck.
You don't even know what to say.
You're kind of like tripping over your own tongue. But I was like, no, impossible.
Right.
And yeah, so we got talking, and he asked me, "Where am I from?" I'm like, "From South Africa." He's like, "Oh, I've been to South Africa." And I said, "I know. I watched your movie. Who Am I?" That movie was called Who Am I? So, and so we kind of struck up a conversation, just chatting about this. And then for some reason, I just switched over to Chinese and started speaking Chinese because I studied at Shenzhen University, so I'm fluent.
Just like randomly, like it was like not intentional.
It was not intentional. It just kind of just fell into Chinese. I think I was just starstruck. And then I just like, out of being starstruck, just like started rambling in Chinese. And he's like, "Oh, you speak Chinese. You speak very well." And then I explained to him, I studied at Shenzhen University, did 4 years. I can read, write, speak, can listen.
Right.
And so he invites me to the coffee tent, and he makes me a cup of coffee.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the first time I met Jackie Chan. And
what, this was like day 1, day 3?
oh,
day
this
5?
was in like the first week.
First week?
Yeah, I was there filming for 45 days.
45 days as a Roman soldier. Wow.
Just as an extra.
Right.
And so with a lot of the big scenes when they're doing wide angles and stuff like that, so Jackie, he would get up and he would use like a loudspeaker, and he would tell everyone, and I'm talking about like 200-300 people on set. That's cameramen, lighting,
Right.
extras, the main actors, the stunt guys, and that's a lot of people on set. So he would use the loudspeaker and speak in Chinese, so all the Chinese people would know what's going on. Then he'd go, because my Chinese name is Ai Dehua.
Right.
And he'd be like, Ai Dehua, 告诉全部的外国人要做什么? Like, tell all the foreigners what they need to do. And like all the executives and the directors, like, who's
the fuck is
who's this dude? We've got Jackie Chan calling out some random dude. Who is this guy? And then just in the back, you just see my hand going up. It's like, okay, no problem. So yeah, that's how the filming went on. And obviously the director took notice that I was doing a good job as an extra. So he bumped me up to being a featured extra. Now, featured extra, the difference between extra and featured extra is featured extra.
You're not in the back row.
You're in focus. You maybe don't have lines, but you at least
you're seen.
You're seen, yeah.
Right.
You're seen, not heard, but seen.
Right.
So I did make it into the final cut.
So you actually made it to
can
the
actually
movie?
see me, like if I know it's me, but I'm wearing a helmet and I've got makeup on, so it's difficult to, like, if you see me like this and then you saw me on screen, you wouldn't be able to recognize
You'd be like,
me.
is that right?
When I first showed my wife my little scene, she's like, "Oh, are you the guy on the right?" I'm like, "No, I'm the guy on the left."
So,
Yeah.
and these were like 200 foreigners, right? Mostly,
No. There were a lot of Chinese extras, and then I think there was
but
maybe,
playing Roman soldiers.
playing Roman soldiers.
Those guys were put in the back row.
Yeah, where it's blurred, you can't see that they're Chinese. And I think it was a total of maybe about, including the stunt team, maybe 60 foreigners.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 60 foreigners. And of course, the director wanted us always to be in proximity where the camera is, so that at least it sells the story. It's Roman soldiers.
Right.
So yeah, that was a great experience because, number one, getting paid to be in the Gobi Desert, our days off, still being paid. So we went and traveled because that particular area is called Dunhuang, and that's part of the Silk trade, the Silk Road, the ancient Silk Road, where, what was his name? Marco Polo even went past there. So a lot of
Spice
history.
Road or whatever.
Yeah, the Silk Road, the Silk Road. And a lot of history, like that stuff fascinates me, considering China has just such a long history, 5,000 years,
It's a huge history.
Yeah, it's very long, yeah.
And when you got bumped up to, what was it?
Featured extra.
Featured extra?
Yeah.
Was also a bump in pay?
No.
No?
No. But in all honesty, my main goal there was start getting exposure and get experience. And, the best in this industry, the best classroom is on set, practical learning, because you're in it, you're hearing you're seeing how the lighting is done, and it's a learning experience, that's for sure.
And after that experience, were you hooked?
Oh, hook, line, and sinker.
Well,
I was
like
this is what I have to do.
Right.
I need to do this, So then that's when it all started. That was how the love for acting started, like the real, true passion started. Yeah.
And so when that was a wrap, and you said Jackie Chan introduced you to another movie.
Yeah, so I had to be a little bit ballsy because at this time I had developed a bit of a repertoire or a relationship with Jackie. Not like that, like, hey, we're big buddies, but he realized that, okay, this guy definitely has a passion. He's just starting out. And Jackie is known for doing that. He'll support people that are passionate about doing it, and he'll support them. So he was in his little mini tent, sitting on his chair out of the sun, and I think his makeup artist was busy with him. And so I just walked past and said, "Sorry, Jackie, sorry to bother you. I have a question." And he said, "Sure. What is it?" I said, "I hear you've got another movie coming up." He's like, "Yes, I do." I said, "Are there any roles available?" It's like, "Yeah." Like I just, yeah. And that's something, in life, it doesn't matter what you do.
Right.
You got to create your opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, like they always say, like the door of opportunity doesn't stay open forever.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a very short time.
You got to use it or lose it.
So you gotta jump on that moment, or it's gone.
Yeah. So obviously asking him, I was naturally nervous.
It took some balls.
Well, like I said,
Like,
I mean,
hello, Mr. Biggest movie star in Asia.
probably the most recognizable
Person
person
in the world.
you know. Gee. So yeah, I was definitely nervous, but that's the thing. In this industry, you got to just suck it up and
Just do it.
You know, some people who have the passion for it, they suffer from stage fright. Now, stage fright can come in many forms. The one big thing about stage fright to overcome it is to take a deep breath and just say to yourself, you can do this. Be confident in yourself. Because if you're not confident in yourself, and that goes for any industry in the world, but particularly in this industry, it's like, just have that confidence, and do the best you can. If you don't succeed, okay, well, at least you tried your best. And that was the same thing with going up to Jackie. It's like, if I don't succeed, if I get scolded out or whatever, I had nothing to lose. Per se.
Right.
I was an extra. So like, what? You're gonna fire me? Okay, fire me. Like, okay. But I had confidence that, in our first meeting, that the guy, I was sincere, I was humble, I wasn't arrogant, I was just being myself.
Yeah, and also he started calling you by your Chinese name in front of the whole cast, you know, so there was a rapport.
Yeah, definitely a rapport.
That was built,
yeah.
So.
And so he says to his assistant and says, "Oh, get him in whole, or get him." What was her name? Oh, I forget her name now. She's actually moved over to Canada now, working as a casting director. I can't believe I see her.
See her face?
In my mind's eye, I see it, and I just forget her name right now. But needless to say, she puts me in contact with a guy in Hong Kong who's the casting director for this film called Skip Trace, and his name is Ian. So I speak to him while I'm still in the desert, and he's like, "Okay, when are you finishing up?" I'm like, "Oh, I'll be done in like a week." This was almost when close to a wrap.
Right.
He's like, "Okay, cool, perfect," because the second stage of casting, because they have normally different stages to weed out who they want and who they don't want. And funny enough, they were putting me in to do stunt work. Now, I'm not a stunt man.
Right.
Look, I mean, in Dragon Blade, I did have to fall off a horse.
No.
I did, I swear.
No, fuck, really?
Yeah, because they would have CGI'd an arrow hitting me, and then I had to fall off a horse. And I barely landed on the mat.
No.
Yeah.
So wait, hold on a second. So they're just like, hey, like featured extra.
Yeah.
Like, it's your first time in a movie, but you need to fall off this horse while it's running, and you got to hit this mat.
Well, luckily, so they first had a real horse, and I'm like, I put my foot down. I was like, guys, come on. No. So then they brought out the fake horse. And it's on like a rail system.
The head moves.
Oh yeah, because as the wheels move, the head goes like this. I kid you not. I was like, that looks damn realistic. So they bring this thing out, they set it up, and they put the mats on.
But they really were going to give you a real horse to go.
Yeah, and I was like, where's my insurance?
But don't they have they didn't have another stuntman?
No, they did. They had the Jackie Chan stunts, and they work all over the world.
There wasn't like
They were there.
A white skin stunt guy.
They had guys that were part of Jackie
his
Chan
stunt
stunts that were white and whatnot. But
so why they pick you to do this?
I don't know. Maybe they're just like, this guy definitely wants to fall off a horse.
Let's see how serious.
Let's see how serious he is about this industry. Yeah. Right. How badly do you want to be an actor? Right. So anyway, they get this fake horse out, and man, I barely made the mat. I mean, my performance was.
So the horse is going like a slow speed, I assume.
Yeah.
Right.
In post production, they'll speed it up, obviously.
Right.
But,
and you're supposed to be like,
and like an arrow is hitting you in the chest. You're like, you have to imagine that. There's no real arrow.
Do they say like, arrow hit?
No, nothing. No, because in your peripheral vision, you see the mat is approaching. So you already got to know, like, as you're about to hit the mat,
You gotta
be like,
you gotta act the scene.
it's all imaginary, you know. It's like when we were kids playing cops and robbers, you know,
Right.
like, or cowboys and Indians. It's you imagining everything, you know. It's make believe, right? That's what movies are, you know. That's acting. What is an actor? Somebody who acts, you know. So, and I just made the mat, and like
Is it like the size of a mattress? Is it like
it's a green mat. It's a green mat. It's it's probably about that thick.
Size of like a sleeping mattress? Like
I would say it's probably about the size of about a double bed.
double. That's a small
Small man.
target.
That's a small target, man.
You know, it's not like a
You
king
gotta
size.
act that, no, it's not like a king size. And I just made it. I think my head. Luckily, there was no. My head. I think. How did I fall? Yeah, my head kind of touched the mat, and when I got off the mat, I saw a massive rock, like literally 2 inches away from where I just fell. And the stunt director, he looks at me and he's like, "Good job, but no. I think we're gonna get a proper stuntman to do this."
No.
Yeah, I was like, I agree. Yeah, get a real stuntman to do that. They've got insurance for that. I ain't got no insurance for that. Can you imagine that? How that would have sucked, cracking my head open on a rock?
Yeah.
Gee.
As a featured extra.
Yeah, no. You've just started your career, and in a blink of an eye, it's gone. Yeah.
But like, yeah, well, it's better that he said that than like, we have to do it again. You know, take 2.
Yeah,
you
look,
know?
I mean, you on set when you're doing dangerous things like that, you got to have someone who's responsible, and I'm not scared to say no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, those kind of like things, you need to have a professional who's experienced at doing experience at falling. Like falling is the most important part of a stuntman. Is how to fall like without hurting yourself.
Well, the other thing is they do have pads and they have special things. So like,
Like they give you like a back brace or anything?
Yeah, they have a special like man, I don't know how to call it. It's like a back brace. So it's got padding and then it's actually got plastic, like kind of like
It's like a little shell.
yeah, a little shell. Yeah, think about like a little turtle,
Yeah.
but it follows the contour of your back.
Right.
And then they also have special pads put on your elbow and things like that. So I recently did an online movie. We'll get into the details. But yeah, the one scene is like, and they're using a real stick, like a log, a real stick. And the girl has to like
Crack you?
use full on effort and hit me on the back of my back.
Fuck.
And then, of course, as you go, that's the acting part in that. So, and yeah, if you don't have that, I mean, can you imagine being smacked by a log just on your?
Yeah, that would break you.
It will break you.
You know?
And then you're not just doing one take; you're doing like 3, 4, 5 takes. So by the end of that take, you're paralyzed. You know, it's like somebody just take me home, please.
You're done. You know.
So one other thing I wanted to mention about that movie, I actually had the opportunity to meet Adrian Brody and John Cusack. John Cusack and Adrian Brody were in this film as well.
With the
Dragon Blade with Jackie Chan.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to meet them, and I had a funny incident with John Cusack because we were all walking to the next set, and John Cusack just happened to be next to me, and he's smoking a vape.
Right.
And so I crack a joke, and I'm like, "Sir, are you? Is there anything special in that vape?" And he got a giggle out of it. He's like, "No, it's just nicotine."
Right.
He was cool about it, but you know, that's me on set. I'm always out to try and make people have a giggle, crack a smile, because it's supposed to be fun. You know, I mean, it's
hard work, but
it's hard work. It's
but
it's hard as hell. You're filming in the middle of nowhere. It took us an hour and a half just to get to set every day. I mean, we're filming in the middle of nowhere. I mean, in the post-production, I will show some photos and whatnot. I'll send them to you. The guests, the guys out there can have a look.
Right.
And yeah, you got to have that sense of fun, you know, like.
I mean, come on, man. It's like I think, yeah, it's one of the most magical industries in the world is to make movies. You know, like
For me, it is.
Well, I mean, I think for most people in the industry, you
Yeah.
know, it's the the art of storytelling.
Yes.
You know, and there's so many stories to tell. History stories, fantasy stories.
Yeah.
You know,
Comedy.
love stories.
Yeah.
I mean, to make movies, like when I was young, I used to always dream about, you know, being a director and making movies. You know, but like, so if you're not enjoying that business, like, there's 1,000 people that will take your place. That will
straight up.
You know, like,
yeah, and that's why, you know, it just brings me back to the whole thing that you got to be passionate about it. I've worked with a couple of people where, and when I say a couple of people, quite a few actually, where they're complaining about this and complaining about that. I mean, I've had to say to a few people, like, suck it up.
right.
Why are you in this industry?
Yeah, I mean,
You know, some people think it's just to attain fame, and if that's your goal, you're never gonna make it.
right.
You know, if you're gonna come into this industry with a chip on your shoulder, think that
Or ego, you know.
you think you're the bee's knees.
Right.
Oh no, you're never gonna make it. You'll destroy your career even before it started.
Right.
So the key factor in this is definitely be humble, be passionate, practice your craft. You know, push yourself to limits that to boundaries you didn't know you had.
Yeah, absolutely. After this movie, then you immediately went over to the second Jackie Chan movie.
Okay, so what happened was then I had some basis. I had now some experience, photos and stuff like that, me being on set. And so then the next project I did was
So it wasn't even the second Jackie Chan movie. It was another project.
There was another project that happened before the Jackie Chan, the Skip Trace with Johnny Knoxville and whatnot. So that actually, the next production was what they called the Cairo Declaration. And it's about the signing of the armistice, you know, World War II ending and whatnot. And my character was a naval intelligence officer. So this is now my first real speaking part.
This is your second project.
Yeah, and it's a movie as well. Yeah,
So-
Chinese local movie. Yeah.
Sure. By Chinese local movie, you mean like mostly for China?
Only for Chinese
cinema.
market. Yeah. Exactly like that, the local market. And this is now my first production where I've got lines.
Well, it's also your second
My second film. Yeah.
Film.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a huge.
It's a huge jump.
from,
Yeah.
from feature to extra, which and then a speaking part.
Yeah. Big jump. Yeah, big jump.
So you're
but
a
that
U.S.
just
Navy
shows-
U.S. Navy officer,
Intelligence officer.
intelligence officer.
Yeah. So I'm in my full whites. I even had a friend back then who was in the Navy, and he joked with me. He's like, "Why are you wearing your formal whites?" You know,
Inside the boat, you know, that's like the ceremonial clothes.
That's exactly.
You know, arriving to the dock, get your medal, meet the president. You know,
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So I mean, we laughed about that, and so it just shows you the ambition I had just to just push yourself or push myself to what's the next big thing. And it's been a process. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I mean, it's going on 8 years in the industry. So it's like any industry in the world. You're always pushing your boundaries, trying to get to the next level. I mean, if you're working in corporate, what's you want to get to CEO, right? Or you want to get to owning your own company, or it's goals and achieving goals, and then setting new goals, and then achieving them, and then moving forward. That's essentially the same with the film industry. You're pushing the boundaries.
And did you like when you took on this like a part as a talking part, and your part made it to the final cut of the movie?
It did, yeah.
Were you like nervous about it? Because it's such a big jump from.
Well, okay, so
I mean, you've only been in two projects. One as an extra, and now you're like the focal point of the camera with the fucking talking point.
So there was one thing I forgot to mention before this particular film. I mean, we were just talking about movies. There was a TV series that I did
Okay, so this was the second movie.
Second movie, yeah.
Okay, so
yeah,
not
yeah.
second project.
Yeah. If you want to say project, then this project after that was a TV series. And it was Song Yao, I forget the name now. It's so long ago. Song Yao Ru Fu Qing. And it's just about Chinese immigrants living in the United States. And I play.
And this was on like the Chinese TV networks,
yeah,
kind of.
yeah. And I'm playing a Chicago police officer. But now the catch was now this was my first time where I actually had to speak Chinese on camera. So that I was nervous,
Right.
Because that's now my second project, right after the big one, the big movie. So there I was nervous, but luckily the lines and they love to dub.
Do you still remember your lines for that part?
Yeah, she's good question.
Like, hey, get lost, kid.
美丽是一个法治的国家. And that's basically saying like America is like a law-abiding country, you know?
Such a good. Say it again. I love that voice.
美丽是一个法律的国家. I think, yeah. And then I had to also say, 你的证据在哪里? Like, where's your evidence? Because they're looking at a burnt down shop. And it's like, 你的证件在哪里? It's like, where's your evidence, you know? And it's like, look at the shop. It's burnt down, you know? And it's like, 美丽是一个法治的国家. And then like I walk off. And then like the two guys I'm working with. And the one guy, I worked with him on another project. Well, very cool dude. Man, on the second project, he saw me and he just immediately came and ran over and hugged me. He's like, 我们又一起拍摄. And that's basically like, we filming again together. Like the guy's not like bursting out in tears, but he's just so happy.
Right.
Because we had a blast on the first shot, you know, or the first project. But maybe my pronunciation wasn't on point, so they dubbed me.
Did they?
Yeah. Well, talking about dubbing, gee, they love dubbing.
And
Oh yeah, okay.
so dubbing is like when someone
Do a voiceover.
professionally does a voiceover in a
That's right.
studio.
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They look at the video, and I've done dubbing before. So you look at the video.
most movies are dubbed, except for they're dubbed by the same actors.
It
I mean,
depends.
it's very hard to record high quality audio while you're on set, while you're outside, while you're in the fucking desert, right? So most of the time you can correct you're in this industry. I'm not, but as far as I know, that most of the audio in movies is re-recorded again by the same actors.
Okay. First of all,
Unless you're in some like super tight sound stage where it's super audio controlled, but
you'll find the sound guys are pretty professional, man. Like if you're filming outside, their mics are specially tuned to just catch your voice. Even if you're outside and there's a wind blowing and whatnot, these guys are good. So in my experience, filming outside, 90%, they've always used my voice.
Okay.
Even if there's wind blowing, 90%.
Wow.
I've had it where there was construction work happening. And then you hear like a drill going off or like a saw going off.
Some background noise, right?
Yeah, you're like, zzz. And then the sound dude will say like, yeah, there's a little bit of background noise, but I can
Post it.
Yeah, I can post-production it, yeah. The technology allows for you to just use your natural voice. Everything in the desert that we filmed, it was all their natural voice. And then on top
It wasn't
of that,
recorded again?
wasn't recorded again,
Wow.
no. And that's
So
why
my mistake then.
Yeah, no. It's not a mistake. It's just sometimes there's maybe like, for example, your mic is too close to your voice box, then you'll get like interference. You'll get what do they call it? 噪音,
Like distortion? Or?
Distortion. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. There, my Chinese took over, and it's like, oh wait, hang on, I am an English native speaker. Yeah, then they'll ask you to do a recording and whatnot. Sometimes they change the script up, and so they've got the video, Like I did a TV show that's now recently come out, and what I was saying, all of my scenes, they used my voice, but for this one particular scene, Wayne the Tol Maidan, they're like, no, you mustn't say that. We don't want that. We want you to say Wayne the Tol Fajan.
Fajan.
Yeah, so it's basically it's the same thing. It's like, so the first one is like, your mistake, you're going to pay the price. And then the other one is like, your mistake, you need to take responsibility. You know, something like that.
Right.
So there's a slight difference. So I had to film that or record it on my phone, and then I sent that to them. And the final edit that they aired, they used that.
They used the recording from your phone for the final broadcast?
Dude, technology is crazy right now, man. Let me tell you.
And it sounded good when you watched it?
It was good. It was clear. It was audible. Yeah, man. Very, very good.
Oh.
So, okay, let's get back to what we were talking about there. We were talking about kind of the progression, right?
Yeah, because at this point, you've worked on the Jackie Chan movie, you worked on the TV show, the American Beat Cop, or maybe Detective,
the Beat Cop, yeah,
or Detective, I don't know.
It was a Beat Cop,
Beat Cop, and then you're working on the second. At this point, you were you were still doing this part time
teaching. Yeah, my running my own.
So you're you
tutoring.
You'd film, go back to your teaching career, and then wait till the next call.
Wait for the next like notice, and then send your information in. And okay, you got it. Okay, great. Let's go do it. Anyway, talking about what Jackie Chan recommended me with, I think it was right after I did that Cairo Declaration. I think because I went and did the auditions, they're like, no, you didn't go through as one of the stunt guys, but we've still chosen you as a featured extra.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, it's something that I can still put on my resume.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and also too, like it doesn't, from my perspective, it doesn't make sense that you're a stunt guy. You know, when you have no like classic training as a stunt guy, or
No, I am definitely.
I mean, it makes sense that they put you as a featured extra, being that you're a featured extra
in the first one. Yeah.
But I assume probably like some people make a lot more if you got classified as that.
Yeah. Look. If we talk about Jackie Chan specifically, he's broken like, man,
every bone in his body.
Just about, man.
Yeah, like he's
broken like oh no, man, he broke his back.
No,
back in the day, there was a worry that he might not ever walk again. It was it's a Hong Kong movie.
Jumping between buildings?
Fell 3 floors, and then the final like kind of market, like kind of little tent, was supposed to break his fall. But it just gave way. It just like immediately broke, and he broke his. I think he broke his neck.
Fuck.
Yeah. He was.
I mean, that was. Back in when his movie started coming out in the 80s.
Dude, he worked with Bruce Lee.
Right.
He worked with Bruce Lee.
I mean, he
was even way before. When you're talking about as a main actor, yeah, he was.
Yeah, Young Jackie's like early 80s, right?
No, much earlier than
70s?
that. 70s, dude.
Fuck.
Yeah, 70s, man.
Like,
Drunken Master. Right. Have you watched Drunken Master?
Yeah, I love Drunken Master.
I'm trying to think when that came out. I could Google that shit.
Google it, man. Yeah. I think it's the 80s, man. I don't think. Man, you could be 70s, but
I think it's the 70s, man. I think the Rumble in the Bronx already was in the 80s.
That was 90s, no?
We'll find out shortly.
In the meantime, I'm gonna enjoy this Navy Strength gin.
Yeah, it's beautiful gin, man.
It's great. These guys do
it's so smooth,
top tier job with their gin.
So let's Google this. Drunken Master. Maybe some of the listeners
and there's Drunken
already
Master
know
1
that.
and Drunken Master 2.
I think it's Drunken Master 1.
Let's go for 1. Yeah, let's look up 1 as far as the release date.
Yeah, I think we need to look at release date because that was specifically released in Hong Kong and it became a cult classic worldwide.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, back when I was a kid, especially like in the,
Don't give away your age now, man.
I'm old, man.
Dude, I'm starting to get gray hairs, man. Look
I'm
at
old, dude. I'm much older than you, I think. So
this. We might be the same age.
yeah, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We're not disclosing anything, everyone.
Well, I'm 43. He doesn't have to say his age.
Well,
See, I think I got 5 years on you at least.
Yeah, I'm 40. I'm 39.
Oh yeah, so there you go, dude.
Yeah. Still wet behind the ears, right?
You haven't hit the big 4-0, dude. So cheers to that, man.
Cheers. Cheers, big ears, as they would say.
You haven't turned 40 this year?
No, I just turned 39.
Ah, fuck, dude. You got another year to relax.
To relax. Yeah. So I mean, we're getting into our older years, but our golden years, man. We're still wet behind the ears.
Still young, right?
Still young.
I always say, like, I may be old, but I'm young in the heart.
All right. So just getting back to Drunken Master. Drunken Master.
1983.
You say 1983.
Yeah.
1978.
Fuck.
Yeah. 1978.
Drunken Master 1.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. You must remember when I filmed Dragon Blade in 2014, Jackie celebrated his 60th birthday
60th.
on set. And he was still performing his own stunts.
No.
I kid you not. At 60 years old.
60 years
Still
old.
doing his own stunts. The guy is a beast.
Fuck, man. Like, that was like 2000.
14, yeah.
So that was 60. He's going to be 70.
Yeah.
He's going to be 70 next year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's nuts, man.
You know?
But it just shows you that it comes back to the point that I was making earlier about passion. You know, he loves the storytelling and he wants to be in
He's definitely like,
an icon.
yeah, but he's so unique. You know, like most action stars or who are in this who do these movies, they don't do their own stunts.
No, they got stunt doubles, yeah.
But he's always been like, I'm gonna just go full out on every project.
So I
and
want
be the guy.
I want to say something about that. I know not a lot of people like Tom Cruise, but do you know Tom Cruise does a lot of his own stunts as
I've
well?
heard that before, yeah.
Now, he's got a new movie coming out. I forget what the actual name is.
Not
but
Mission-
it's Mission Impossible, blah, blah, blah.
So
blah.
it is Mission Impossible.
Yeah, it's Mission Impossible.
Mission 20, whatever, right?
He literally, and of course they have safety guys and they've got important things, but he literally does a base jump off of a mountain, riding a motorbike. Now, the motorbike was connected to cables so that the bike would fall away from him, but he literally did a base jump.
With like a parachute.
Of course, yeah. Well, I mean, what he's going
I
to
mean,
spread my wings and fly.
Man, but
But yeah, he literally did the base jump. Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, he did it.
So,
And it's in the final cut. Like I remember watching something on YouTube with an interview, and the director was like, he even said to Tom Cruise, he's like, "This is crazy, man. You sure you want to do this?" It's like, "Yeah, let's do it."
yes, it's the fearless, totally
Yeah.
fearless.
I mean,
Yeah,
dude,
man.
I think I would have left a brown stain.
Fuck, man, I don't think I can. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, man.
I'd be like, I'll ride up to the.
Just
Cliff
like
edge,
hit the
you
brake. You're like your bike turning on its
No.
nose, and then you're
I
like,
need 5 feet from the cliff.
it's
you
like,
know?
nah, not doing it.
Yeah, fuck that. So
Yeah.
back to your story. You're working part time or full time as a teacher.
I would
Part time as an actor.
yes, I think that's the correct terminology. Yeah, full time teaching, and
And
then
you're getting all these little parts and stuff like that.
building up my resume and whatnot.
And at this point, like the acting pay was not sufficient enough to pay the bills full time.
Yeah, man. Let me be honest, man. Back then, the agents were a bunch of sharks. Let's put it that
I
way.
think they still are.
Oh, they still are, yeah. But I've just wised up, yeah. Yeah, I've just wised up. But yeah, I mean, I remember doing some shows.
So do you mind me asking, like,
Yeah, sure.
so for what do you say, 42 days out on your first project?
Oh man, the pay was
What
measly.
what was the pay?
We were doing. I mean, we were waking up at like 6 in the morning, and then 6:30 the bus was there to pick us up, and then it was an hour and a half drive just to get to set. Then it was breakfast, and then 9 a.m. started working, and
Most, to be fair, most of production time for the actors is downtime.
there is downtime for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, like everywhere you
But-
have to set up the lights, the shot,
Yeah,
this.
but
that,
think about it.
you
You're
know?
in the middle of nowhere. You're in the desert.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's definitely like time consuming.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, you're not actually
Yeah,
rolling camera.
yeah. So that's the difference between TVCs, TV commercials, and like movies and TV series. So like movies and TV series, you got downtime, so you can.
Much more downtime.
Yeah, you got a lot more.
Yeah, because
This particular
'cause of the
scene
fact
doesn't
is
need you.
There's more preparation. I would say there's more scenes, more diversity of scenes.
Yeah.
And more preparation involved to get the shot.
Yeah, moving camera angle, moving lighting. This particular scene doesn't need you, and
Anyways,
maybe the actors.
Back to the pay.
Okay. Oh, you want to ask about pay? Okay, so
This 42. Do you remember what your first paycheck was for your first job? Roughly what?
Well, I'll tell you what I was being paid per day. It was only 300 RMB for 15-hour day.
300 RMB per day.
Yeah.
So for 10 days, you're making like 3K. So for a month, you're making like 9K.
Yeah. I think it was something like 15K that I might
At the end of 42 days.
45, yeah.
45 days.
Yeah. The wife
As an
wasn't
extra.
As an extra. The wife wasn't too happy. You've been away for 45 days. You're only making 15K. But anyway.
She's expecting money bags.
Yeah. No. One interesting thing, just going back to that, is there are a lot of doubters as well, man. That's why your resolve has to be strong. You got to be.
You dedicate, resolve and dedication.
It's got to be like, I don't care what you say. Like I literally did say that to my wife. Because she came with things like, hey, you're gonna be away for 45 days.
You made the.
Where do you think this is going to end up?
So she was doubting it at the beginning.
Yeah, she was definitely doubting it. Yeah, and I just said, and I'm that kind of person. When I put my mind to something, I achieve what I put my mind to, and I'm sure you're the same.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So 8 years down the track, I've got quite a beefy CV.
Yeah, amazing resume.
Yeah. It's beefy. Let's put it that way. Just getting back to the recommendation there from Jackie to do skip trays. So I'm a featured extra. I'm playing a businessman sitting at a casino table. Unfortunately, that particular scene was edited out. But the highlight for me was meeting Fan Bing Bing. She's one of the, you girls all know who Fan Bing Bing is, yeah? Meeting her and then meeting Johnny Knoxville.
Okay.
He's a pretty chill dude. And I've got an interesting story interacting with Johnny Knoxville. So I told him one of my popular jokes.
What's your popular joke?
So it goes like this. What does Lord of the Rings and Brokeback Mountain have in common?
A photo? I don't know.
Two guys go up a mountain and destroy a ring.
And how did he take it?
He laughed, and he said, I've heard that one before, but yeah, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. So yeah, that was
all shot in Macau.
Yeah,
The casinos.
Yeah, that was also
short.
No, it was a tough shoot as well.
But
long hours.
how many days project for you?
2 days.
2 days.
Yeah, 2
so
days.
basically, bam, bam, done.
Yeah, because the first day was call time 2 a.m. and then they filmed until about, I think it must have been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think they filmed until about 10 a.m. Then it was like a break for lunch, and then a lot of the people, extras, left. They wanted me to stay on. So then 12 p.m. start again. So basically working 2 shifts. And then 6 p.m., 7 p.m. finished, go grab dinner, back to the hotel, sleep. Next day, 2 a.m. call time. Again, 2 shifts. So it was grueling, definitely. So after that, then this is all still when I'm doing the part-time or part-time full-time teaching and
right.
part-time acting.
But you said that scene that you were called for never actually made it into the
Didn't make
movie.
it into the final cut, yeah.
And it's crazy, like how much scenes
Get cut.
that get cut.
Yeah.
And then nobody even like. There's so much like story that they film, and then a lot of it just gets fucking.
I'll give
sliced
you
down.
the statistics of movies. 3/4 of what they film gets cut out.
For sure, absolutely.
Yeah, 3/4. That's
That's
a lot.
That's a lot, dude.
That's a lot.
3/4.
Yeah.
So you're talking about 75%
Yeah.
of what they film
So only 1/4 makes it in.
into the mixing in.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
And if you think of how much they spend, I mean, that Jackie Chan movie, their budget, they spent $50 million.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. But then again, there are other projects I've worked on where it's been way more than that. Talking about $100 million.
I mean, I think you almost have to. You have to overshoot, so that you have enough material so that you can edit it down to the perfect mix of story and sequence and
Yeah, there's a fine balance though. There's a fine balance because the issue is when I did Wandering Earth. I mean,
Wandering Earth is
that's the Liu Lang Di show.
it's a newer movie.
It's a brand new movie.
What's the Chinese name?
Liu Lang Di show.
Leon.
I think the staff here all know.
So this
what
is
is about.
When did it come out?
It came out on January the 22nd, I believe.
This year.
Yeah, this
So
year. It's brand new.
Brand new.
Brand new, yeah. Like
You got a talking part?
Yeah, I did 49 days of filming, excluding my rest days. I had many scenes, and I only made it into 3 pieces of the film. It's an almost 3-hour movie.
And you only made it 3 small parts.
Yeah, but luckily my speaking part made it. Yeah.
So you had to buy the ticket for yourself to see this movie because like it's all secret.
Yeah, no,
You know?
exactly.
And then you don't realize like how much, like you said, like you were filming for what
49 days.
49 days,
yeah, excluding my rest days.
right?
Yeah, so like 49 legitimate filming days. And actually, a couple of guys who live here in Shenzhen as well, they were on set as well. So we decided we're going to do an event of the whole screening. And it was the first time it was released. It was the very first day that it was released to the public. So we decided, okay, this Sunday, brought the family and they brought their better halves and
Like
whatnot.
the whole crew.
Yeah, we made an
Filled
event
it
of
up,
it. Yeah.
filled up the theater.
Yeah. And we bought our tickets. To be honest, tickets to go to the cinema here in Shenzhen are a little bit pricey, but it's not that bad. For an event like that, we thought it's worth it. I think for myself, my wife, and my son, I think I might have spent a total of, maybe just under 300 RMB.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's worth it,
I mean, come on, man. It's a big moment for you.
Yeah, and the anticipation of like, how much did they edit out?
Right. How much am I in it?
Yeah, like, did I even make an appearance? Like at the end of the day, I got paid.
Have you ever experienced that where like you've like filmed a project and then you didn't even make it to the final cut?
That's a good question.
Oh no, I guess the third project, the casino.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah,
So that was the
skip
first
trace.
time.
Yeah, that was the
But
first
since
time.
then,
yeah.
you
Since then, I let me just cast my mind into the abyss there. No, I think it was just that particular production. Every other production. Oh, hold on. No. There are a few others. I've done quite a few shoots in Hong Kong. Like I did Snowden, where I was a featured extra as well. That was
Like
directed by Oliver Stone.
Edward Snowden.
Yes, yeah. The what would you call it? A biographic of Edward Snowden. And I didn't make it into the final cut for that. There was a Andy Lau film as well called Shockwave. I didn't make it into that. There were a few Hong Kong films that I did where I didn't make it into the final cut. But, still got paid for it. So it's got to count for something. And it's not something I would necessarily put on my resume because, there's no real proof.
Right.
So in the industry, you want to have proof. But all other productions that I've done, I've been very critical about what characters I choose so that I know at least I'm going to be in the final edit, what gets released. And that mindset has definitely helped me because, what's the point of being an actor if you're not on screen?
You don't make it. Yeah. And so, like, you're at the movie theater with your family, and you watch this movie, and that just came out this year, right?
Yeah, that came out January 22nd. I believe it. Obviously, they had their premiere, and so all the top tier guys went to the premiere. I unfortunately was not invited.
Not yet.
Not yet. But the national release was the 22nd, and that was, I think, the day right after Chinese New Year. This year Chinese New Year, I believe, was on the 21st, and I think they call it Da Chui. So the 22nd, they released it, and man, I had my phone ready, and as I'm watching the movie, I'm like, okay, it's coming up.
my scene's coming.
It's coming up. Oh damn, I'm not in that one. Like
because because
I know the story. So like the entire film, I'm kind of like getting ready, and then it's like, shit, they edited me out. And then I'm waiting and I'm waiting. Oh, okay. Oh man,
not this time.
They edited that one out as well. Come on. It's like playing roulette,
Right.
It's like, come on, black. So eventually, like with the elevator being attacked, and luckily they did have the scene just before this terrorists attack, where communications are down, and then it's like, oh, don't ask me, I have no idea, because my character's a Brit, so I try to put on a Cockney accent. Oh, don't ask me, I have no bloody idea. Well, that sounded a little bit Australian, but yeah. In the moment, it was Cockney. Yeah, that's for sure. And I managed to capture that. So I'll definitely once this film comes out on the internet, and I think it is out on the internet right now. Yeah, you do have to pay money. It's like pay-per-view type thing.
Sure.
Yeah, but I'll definitely take that section, and then everything I've done in the last 2 years, I will now update my show reel, because everything I've done in the last 2 years have been like prominent roles. Yeah,
big picture.
Yeah, very prominent roles, and that just I think the big leap.
I wanted to ask you. I think like at a certain point where you're making the majority of your money as a tutor or English teacher.
That's right.
As a teacher.
Yeah.
And then
I like the word tutor.
Tutor? Better than teacher?
Oh, it's the same thing,
Okay. As a tutor.
Potato.
Yeah. At some point, you have to really decide, like, where's my 100% focus gonna be? Like obviously, like when you're split into multiple roles, for business, for money, whatever, right? You can only focus so much attention on here and so much attention on there. Yeah. When in your life, or did you decide that acting is what I want to do full time? and this is gonna be my 100% energy.
Full body,
full body, yeah.
body, mind, and soul. Yeah, Look, at the end of the day, when you got a family, your family is important. You got to make sure that you got stability and you got an income and that you can provide for your family, put a roof over their head, food in their bellies. Becoming a father, that's something that's very important, as you would know.
Sure.
And so there did come a point where I had to make the decision, what am I going to put my soul into? What is going to float the boat, essentially?
Put bread on the table.
Put bread on the table.
Not only, but also like put bread on the table and also satisfy you as a person, as a human.
Emotionally and mentally, satisfy me in those regards, And in 2017, I got a role as a main or as a lead foreign actor in a Chinese TV series called Shadow Hunters.
What's the Chinese name?
反恐特战队知雷音. 反恐特战队知雷音. It's a long ass name. Yeah, it's a mouthful. It's like if you don't speak Chinese, you trip over your own tongue. But to a lot of foreigners' knowledge, most foreigners are playing the villain. Yeah.
I wonder. Actually, that's the question I wanted to ask you because, like, I saw your WeChat moments.
Yeah.
Like finally I can play a good guy.
Yes, that's right. Finally playing a good guy. Yeah. I was a protagonist, not an antagonist. Yeah, and oh man, how many scenes did I have for that TV series? I was in a lot of scenes, a lot of episodes. How long did I film for? I think I filmed for like 3 months. It was long.
Wow.
Yeah. But it wasn't constant filming, like.
It was like a weekend or a few days here, or a week here.
It could be like 6-7 days in a row, and then I might have a week off, and then I'd just get on the high-speed train back home, spend time with the family, and then back maybe for 2 weeks, maybe not filming every day, but they were like, no, just stand by. So, that was a pretty cool role because, coming from South Africa, my dad was in the military. He was a paratrooper. So as a young kid growing up, I had some weapons training, or like just, going to the shooting range and learning how to do weapons handling, let's put it that way. And that was one of the requirements for this role because we were operating...
You have to use guns?
Yeah. I was playing a colonel, Colonel Marvin.
American?
No, it was
Marvin.
Marvin.
Sounds
Colonel
like
Marvin. Yeah,
sounds like American.
Yeah, but it was all fictitious.
But
the country we were operating in is completely fictitious.
Oh, so there was no.
Yeah, the country was called Mammoth.
Mammoth.
So I mean, it's completely fictitious, and it's basically. Our country's military is coordinating with the Chinese military, and we are fighting a terrorist organization, and they're operating out of our country. So that's the storyline in a nutshell. And it was a great experience, and that was the turning point for me, where I was like, man, I can do this. I can hold down a role. And what was interesting about this role was the entire script was in Chinese. And the chief director was like, well, you're a foreigner. You got to speak in English. So speak in English. So I ended up having to translate that entire script, all of my lines, into English. And that was awesome because now I get to translate the script into my own words.
So first you do like the translation, and then you like edit it to say it how you feel like the character.
That it's more natural.
Yeah. Right, more natural.
Yeah, it becomes, the script becomes my own.
For
word.
sure.
Yeah. So that was cool. And that's where where, as you would ask me what was the next step, you know, and that was the next step, and that's where I was like, man, I need to be proactive about this. This is what I got to do. I mean, like, this is what creativity is. This is mastering your craft, you know, pushing the boundary, and that's exactly what that was the turning point, essentially, in a nutshell. That was the turning point. So 2017, I was still, that's where acting became, in my mind, my main source. That's going to be my full-time job. Teaching is going to be my part-time job. And that was where I realized, okay, I have to pursue this. Then, of course, I continued.
This was 5 years.
Yeah.
Into doing these different roles and finally deciding that.
It was like it opened my eyes. It was like a veil was lifted, and it was like, you know, almost like God saying to me, like, son, this is what you got to do.
You have to go for it.
You got to do this.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
I'm trying to think what happened in 2018. 2018, I think 2018 I started branching out more into doing commercials and things like that.
And also you, because I follow you on social media, so like I know like you work with like different like influencers like Mr. Yang.
That's right, Zhang Jiajie. Zhang Jiacheng, sorry, Zhang Jia.
And you guys done a
Yang Jiacheng, sorry.
You guys do like high level production videos.
Yeah,
with them, you know?
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it's
English is better.
Oh, no. Yeah. Do you speak English? No, I'm just a delivery guy.
Yeah.
Do I look like I speak English? I just want to order a cup of green tea. Oh, well, if you sugar free, yeah. No,
but you guys had some cool like action scenes, you know.
Yeah,
like,
we've had a lot of fun working together. I've been working with him for the last 5 years.
yeah.
You know, and,
He seems like a nice guy, man.
And basically, we've done cool things together, and all of his videos that came through, they all were fire.
They're all fun. I mean, there's such the production value on his videos is so good.
Yeah, but this is the key. Like, it's literally like one cameraman.
I mean, I can understand what it is.
Yeah. Do you remember seeing that video that we did where we like in the tea shop, and he's like the delivery guy with the yellow, and then Camilla wearing the blue? In post-production, I'll show you.
I watched a lot of it. I can't remember this video.
Anyway, that particular video had 75 million views.
Fuck.
75 million views. That is insane. You know? And then all of his fans
more than the
would add me, and then they're like, oh, poor Eddie. Still the lost foreigner in China. So, you know, it's worth a laugh, you know. So you're laughing on camera and you're laughing off camera. I mean, this is what entertainment is, you know. We do this job not for our own personal gratification, but it's to bring a smile, bring a tear, bring a cringe, you know. This is the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I mean, as they say, like it doesn't matter if you're remembered as the villain or you're remembered as the hero, remembered as the scumbag, as long as you're remembered. You know?
Yeah, look,
you know?
I mean, what's it? No news is bad news does not mean that it's bad news, you know.
Another term is like there's no bad publicity.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, sorry,
You know?
that is correct. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
You know, as long as you're like in people's brains, in people's conversation.
Yeah.
You know.
So one thing for me personally, where I try to push the envelope, was I wanted to play different characters. So you know, I felt at a point I was playing too many military characters, antagonists.
Right.
And I was just like, nah. So Before 2017, I was getting a lot of offers to do the antagonist, and I was just at that. I mean, I was still doing the tutoring and whatnot, and I was paying the bills. And I turned down a lot of work. I just said no.
It's not the part for you.
I'm not going to be playing the bad guy, the villain anymore. I do a great job of playing a villain, but
You're a good villain.
but I'm not going to do it anymore. I want to start playing the protagonist. I want to start,
Being on the good side.
being on the good side. I'm tired of the dark side.
Right. You want to be a Jedi?
I want to be the damn Jedi, man. So yeah, and then 2017 came along, and I got the protagonist role, and I was like, man, this
Is your first?
that was my first protagonist role, yeah. And we then it was another role where I was playing a scientist, and then I played a doctor. I played a lawyer. Oh man, I played like a shady lawyer.
Really? Like a Saul?
Not like quite that, not that shady, but it's kind of just like the prisoner, and we're in the interview room, and I'm kind of like, just yo yao, because I want to break the guy. So basically, it means
You're
like,
speaking in Chinese?
Yeah, speaking Chinese. I was like, eat this piece of paper. It's got like a poison that will like upset your stomach.
Say it again.
Yeah, 你吃这些有咬度.
So
And
that
I had
sounds
to
scary.
and I had to say it like that. But the previous day I did a TVC and I got sunburnt to my asshole. Like in the actual video, the makeup artist did a great job. But my whole forehead was
fucking
swollen.
red.
I had sunstroke, dude. I almost had to cancel that job.
No.
I swear, dude. I was in bed and the guy's like, "So are you on the way?" I'm like, "Dude," and I sent him a photo. He's like, "Damn, what happened?" I'm like, I did a
Working.
shoot yesterday. I was on the beach doing a shoot for a miniature air conditioning vent or machine, portable air conditioner.
Just fucking lobstered you.
Man, I had full on sunstroke.
Right.
Full on sunstroke. The guy's like, "Dude,
Yeah,
you gotta come, man."
Yeah.
And I
No rest for the
willed myself-
wicked.
Even a cold shower was burning me. I was like, so just through pure determination, I got myself into a taxi. I got to set on time. Makeup artist looked at me and was like, "I don't know if I can fix this." And my agent's like, "Just try." Just try.
Heavy foundation.
Oh, heavy bass, man. Oh, gee. Like, I can do this where the wrinkles on my face like that. Dude, I did that in the actual shot, and I've got that on my phone. You can't see the
This
wrinkles.
is
That's
fucking-
how swollen I was.
Oh fuck, dude.
But I did it. I pulled it off.
And it worked
Even the
out.
director looked at me and was like, "Are you okay?" Like in Chinese, "Ni mei shi ba?" I was like, like, I'm okay. So let's film.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's just get the scene done. So needless to say, that production company that did the beach scene, I haven't worked with them since. I refuse to work with them. We're filming in the damn sunlight. Why you don't bring sunscreen?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so and so I've played a lot of different characters, dodgy characters, good
Shady
characters.
lawyers.
Yeah, good characters, shady lawyers. Like thief. Like what's it? Like an assassin, things like that. And oh man, when was that? I think we filmed it last year, towards the end of the year. Filmed an online movie. And I'm not going to disclose the name just yet because it hasn't been released. Of course, Privacy Act.
Sorry, what is an online movie?
An online movie is something that is produced only for the internet.
So it's not going to be in the cinemas.
Yeah. And I've done, in the last 6 months, I've done 3 of these.
So these are like full-on movie productions,
Yeah.
just for internet release. Like
Exactly,
they have like,
because
so
they
it's
make
like
they
a Net-
generate their money from the internet sales.
so it's like produced for like Chinese Netflix kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Exactly like that. So this particular movie, man, it's probably been my most cringeworthy character I've ever played.
Which was?
So I'm playing something like the character is like a lord. You know, when I say lord, like
history piece.
not a history piece, like set in
common day?
Yeah, in present day, where I'm kind of like a duke type thing, but I'm involved in sex trafficking.
No, you're the sex trafficker.
Yeah, it was quite a cringeworthy character to play, I must be honest. Prior to my death scene, so there's one girl that I've like trafficked, and I particularly like her hands. And the guy that kills me knows that I like her hands, and so he applies poison on her hands
because you're always touching her hands.
Because I'm always like, I love your hands. Your hands are just makes my body quiver. You know, it's cringeworthy, man. Like you know, this is the thing about film. So anyway, like I drug her, and she gets up and she can't see. Like she's not blind, but she just can't see, and she's kind of like feeling her way through the room and whatnot. And I'm there, and I kind of like sniff her hands. It's dude, like I had to apologize to this actress every time the director said cut. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. She's like, no, you're doing your job. I was like, yeah, but it is fucking questionable what we're doing here. You know, like I was very uncomfortable doing it.
Really?
Yeah, like every take, I was super uncomfortable. But you know, that's acting, and it wasn't any nude stuff or anything like that. It's just cringeworthy, you know. So I'm basically like, I smell her hands. I'm like, woman, yo, Jian Mian. It's like, we meet again. You know, which, I mean, just the way I say it. I mean, it's like, damn, who the fuck this guy?
Right. Little pervert.
Damn pervert. So eventually, like, I'm like grabbing her hands and like kissing. So naturally, I ingest the poison.
And that's how you die.
And that's how I die. Yeah, so, you know, basically in the scene, I'm like kissing her hands, and naturally the poison's already on the hand. So this is how my character ingests the poison.
So like the hero puts poison on her hand.
Yeah,
to
because he
her.
Knows
That you have this fetish.
This fetish.
Right.
And yeah, so my death scene was a one take. It was one take. Normally in film, you're doing like 2-3 takes. The director was so happy with my...
So can you say how you die?
Well, I've got...
I mean, do you have like
well, so
like
essentially
bubbles
I've got fake blood in my mouth. So I fall
like
down.
a capsule?
No. It's like liquid out of a bottle.
So your mouth is closed, and then at some point you be...
So essentially I fall to the carpet onto my arm, and I'm kind of convulsing. And while I'm convulsing, like, you see the blood dripping out of my mouth, and then it like runs onto the carpet, and then I'm gone. Yeah. So yeah, I've had multiple death scenes.
How many times you die? Do you know how many times you die on film?
Oh, jeez.
Like not like I'm talking about like not like cut scenes or part where you're cut out, but like how many times you died on film?
Oh man.
Your body count.
Wow. Well, in Dragon Blade, the Jackie Chan film, you know, in a day I probably died 10, 15 times. A spear in me, or a sword in me. Or
so that film, like, you died many times.
Whereas this online movie, it was one death
obviously,
scene, one take.
Obviously,
yeah,
yeah,
just
like
one take. How many other death scenes? Wow, that's a good question. 8 years in the industry. It's easy to forget. But I would say, wow. at least 50 times.
50.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a big body count.
Yeah. And it's tradition in China that when you have a death scene, they will give you a hongbao, lucky
No.
packet,
Seriously.
and you got to put it in the inside of your shoe and then put the shoe on.
During the scene or after?
Throughout the scene.
No. So whoa. So if they know that you are gonna die in the scene,
Yeah.
they give you a hongbao.
Yeah.
You put it in your sock or shoe
Well, you take your shoe off, you put it,
on the bottom,
and then
And
you
then
put
you
your
step
shoe.
on it.
Yeah.
and then you die.
Yeah. And
This
that is to because you are portraying death. So they want to not wish bad on you.
So this is for everybody.
Everyone.
Everybody who dies, they get a little hongbao in their shoe.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting, yeah.
You're like, fuck, let me die 1,000 times.
Oh man, I'm gonna make a grand extra here.
my
yeah,
baby's gonna get a new pair of shoes.
Oh man, I'm gonna buy a new house.
That's fascinating. Honestly, that's like super.
Yeah, you might call it superstitious, but it's part of Buddhism and Taoism and things like that. It's it's within the culture. Yeah, it's very questionable to portray death.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of taboo around death, especially in film. So it's considered to be lucky. Keep whatever entity wants to harm you after you do the shoot, you keep them at bay. So yeah, it was a real eye opener for me as well.
So like when you're in the first Jackie Chang film, you got a lot of fucking shoe hongbao?
No, I didn't. Yeah, because I'm not on direct film.
Oh, so it's only the people who are gonna be shown dying on film.
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because it's just background, you're in the blur, no one knows.
Yeah,
It's a war, yeah, it's fine. But it's like if you like the real actor, like you're the zhujiao, as they call it, the main actor, and you're dying. Yeah.
You have to wear a fucking.
You got to have the hongbao, man. You got to have the lucky
You
money.
gotta have the shoe hongbao.
You got to have it, yeah. So that, in terms of my career, has been the first and only time that I've really died
As a prominent role.
as a prominent role. Yeah,
Which is this movie yet to come out.
yeah. It's yet to come up.
So you gonna have like a little party at your house or for this movie release or what?
To be honest, that character was so cringeworthy. I don't know if I would try to celebrate it. It was
Come on, let's do something. Let's do something.
one thing that I would maybe do
I would love to like come over and fucking
and check it out.
yeah. What like I want to be part of your
Inner circle.
not in the circle, but like part of like your first screening of a project you worked on. You know?
Well, then there would be one project that I would recommend. It would be.
It's coming soon?
It's also an online movie. It's to commemorate the anniversary with China supporting the North Koreans in the North Korean War. They were called the Chinese Volunteer Soldiers. And in this online movie, they only had one foreign role. So I am
a good guy or a bad guy?
well, let me explain. This is one of my most complicated characters I ever played.
Because when you talk about the Korean War, right? We're talking
Yes.
about
Yeah.
my great grandfather. He fought in this war
No way.
on the American side, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, that's very interesting. You know, so I had a little bit of time to do some research, and of course, you know, I had history in high school and things like that, and I love watching documentaries, so I have a little bit of background as to what the conflict was. Essentially, it's communism versus democracy.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
To be honest, I don't understand the back history of it.
That's just in a nutshell. Yeah. So, in the story itself, it's not physically fighting. It's not like a war movie. It's a drama. and it's depicting the drama of a Chinese war hero in the Korean War. I'm trying my best to remember his name here. I could bring it up right here now. I do have the script here.
While you do that, I'm going to make myself another drink.
Okay.
No,
Are we paused?
No. We're
okay.
rolling, dude.
Are we rolling? I actually have the script right here. There we go. And
Can I get another ice?
all right. So we're still rolling, eh?
Yeah, we're not stopping, man.
So Luo Chengjiao.
I have no idea who the
You
script
can
is.
look at the ping here. Luo Chengjiao. So he is a war hero. That's the lead out of this.
So he's
movie.
a Chinese general or whatever.
He was not even a general or anything. He was just a soldier.
In the Chinese army helping the North Koreans.
That's right, yeah. So my character is called Smith.
Miss-
Yeah, Mr. Smith.
but you're
I'm an American fighter pilot, and I get shot down, and they capture me.
on the North Korean side.
That's right, yeah. And now you got to remember, thank you. And you got to remember that the fighter pilots were dropping bombs left, right, and center on villages and things like that. So I get shot down. I become a POW. And of course, my first scene is I'm injured. So I can, they had to apply prosthetics to me. So it was like, the special effects guys, they have some pretty cool stuff, man.
They cut your legs off.
No. So they had to shave the inside of my thigh, or the inside of like where my knee is.
Yeah.
I'll show you in a bit. But then they use the special glue to stick this prosthetic. And it's got a tube, and then they use a big syringe, and then they push like that so that the blood can squirt. So that's essentially when I've been captured, because I'm now injured.
Oh, so like your legs
Yeah, so
like
there's
splashing
blood,
blood out.
blood, and then the Chinese nurse comes and pulls my pants open, and then she sees the blood like spraying. And then she's like trying to treat it, and like, so then they have a close up of the actual like blood spraying, and then she's treating. So, with all filmmaking, they have different camera angles. It's just to what they call filler shots. They call them filler shots.
We call it B-roll.
B-roll, yeah, that's right.
another-
B-roll as
another
well.
term.
Yeah. And my character was very much arrogant. Like, we got to be here. We got to help the South Koreans. We got to fight for democracy. This is why we're here. And now I'm a POW.
Right.
And I'm in a North Korean village. And so my first scenes, I'm kept in captivity. They're not letting me out. And like, I protest. This is against the Geneva Convention, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to say too many lines to spoil everything there. But, I'm like kind of getting fucking worked up because they're giving me shit food, what I presume to be shit food. And then later on, as my character is allowed to go out, then we go out, and then I see something that looks like they're eating like meatballs. I'm like, you lied to me. Look, they're eating meatballs. Then I taste it, and it's actually just like maize meal, and it's horrible. I mean, I had to bite the stuff. Like, I swear to God, there was one scene where I bit it. Like, I literally I kid you not. I literally was like, but now camera's rolling it. And I had to fight it so hard.
Yes, you had to say it tastes delicious, or
I literally had to be like no, because the camera's on me, and it's kind of like I'm showing them like I can eat what you eat.
Right.
Because the first scene that I do is I bite it, I'm like, I spit it out, like, what's this shit? Then I walk off, and then I see one of the soldiers picks it up, he dusts it off, and he puts
He
it,
eats
and
it.
then he eats it, and he's like, just like looking down at me, and I'm kind of
Oh,
like,
you arrogant bitch.
yeah, yeah. We've got nothing to eat, and we're giving you the best food that we have here, kind of thing. We're going hungry, and we're giving the best food to you. So it came down to being this whole dynamic of being arrogant, and then slowly like realizing like, but you know what, these are also people.
Yeah, I mean,
It was a very, very taxing character, let's put it that way. And then to the final point where I had a monologue. Now, in the script, it says I had to cry. But then the director says to me, he's like, no, you're a pilot, remember that. But you need to be able to deliver your monologue. And they added extra words to extra sentences and things like that to make it a little bit more dramatic. It's a drama.
Mm.
But what I want from you is I want you to get to the audience's, pull their heartstrings without crying. And I was like, well, this is a challenge.
so you kind of had to like rewrite the script.
Well, the most part was there, but they added a bunch of other stuff. And it's like, pull your heartstrings without me crying, but I can make you cry as the audience.
So do you ever like take the script, whether or not it's edited or like added to, you take it and you just say, you know what, like I'm just gonna say it in my words,
The way I want to do it.
in the way I want to do it, but with the emotion of the character, and just fucking go.
Okay, so what was really cool about this shoot, this particular online movie, the director, when I first met him, he gave me the auras like, oh, can this foreigner pull this role off? Can he do it? He kind of was a little bit blasé.
He was a little hesitant about.
He was a little
about
bit
your
blasé about me.
capabilities.
Yeah. And first day, he started warming up a little bit, because before every scene, he would explain what his thinking is. So before every shoot or every scene, we would have a sit down and we would have a discussion and get to understand what emotion needs to be portrayed. And so that was great. I loved that. And then I would, there's a bit of a back and forth, sharing ideas, brainstorm as they would call it. So we would start off with a reading. And then after the reading, and a reading basically means you're just reading out the script.
Right.
So that each person knows.
With all the dialogue people.
Yeah, where everyone knows when it's their time to speak.
shine or speak or whatever.
Yeah, to shine, I like that, yeah. Time to shine. So this is what I digged about this director. He was very, very picky. Very picky guy. But what I loved about it was that he was willing to compromise. Compromise in the sense of like, because the original lines are in Chinese, but then he would sit and talk to me and he'd be like, okay, so what would be the best way for us to say this in English? And because I'm a native speaker, we would then discuss.
He'd be open to your ideas.
And he had a bit of English background, so he knew. So he would say something, and then I'd say to him, that's not really what a native speaker would say. Especially if it's a pilot. They qualified individuals.
And definitely pilots are
highly trained
and super nationalistic.
Oh, sure.
Right? They understand
So that
what it means to be shot down in foreign environments.
Yeah, behind enemy lines and whatnot.
And how to deal with that situation.
Exactly.
They have that training.
Yeah, exactly. So that character was very interesting for me. It's probably one of the most interesting characters I've ever acted, because from being this arrogant pilot It's like, it's our right to be here. To like, well, actually, what are we doing here? You know, it was a very interesting dynamic for me. And then the very final scene, having to do this monologue and deliver it to a point where one of the nurses in the scene treating my leg, we ended up going back to Beijing airport because she lives in Beijing and I was flying from Beijing.
Like
back to
after the
Shenzhen.
film.
Yeah, after. Yeah. The day after, when the final scene was done, she ended up being in the business van with me, going back to Beijing airport. And she said, "You know what? I almost cried last night." And I was like, "Nah, really?" She's like, "Yeah, that." Like even the director said, like, that's exactly what I wanted, you know. Yeah, he didn't. No, not to float my boat or anything. But I mean, the director's like, he looked at her and he's like, "That's exactly what I wanted." Like this dude definitely pulled it off. So from him doubting me to like actually pulling it off,
shining, and then him being emotional about your fucking
you know,
performance.
You know, like when I was done, like the guy. I mean, it's 11 o'clock at night. I mean, it's cold, man. It's in Hebei province. Daytime, it was warm. We're in the middle of nowhere. It's desert. There's sandstorm season. So, right in the evenings, it would drop to like 1 degree Celsius. So it was cold. And director came out. It's like, "Okay, you're done. Sha Qingle. You finished your scenes." Came out, gave me a hug. He's like, gave me a fist bump, and it's like,
"You did good, boy."
Well, he's like, till the next project, you know. And so that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Well, holy shit, man. I want to say, like, I've known you for a long time. I've known you before the Hollywood business.
Well, we're in China, so Chollywood.
Before the Chollywood business. No, really, right?
Yeah, you're right.
We have a deep history together. And
when you were doing your parties and whatnot.
I was doing my parties.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was
back in the day.
Back in the day, king of Shenzhen.
Before our gray hairs.
Before our gray hairs and old man ways.
Oh yes, yeah.
Before babies and marriage.
True that.
And I think it's, you know, like, I have a very, very few friends who are still in who still exist in Shenzhen, because even though Shenzhen is a city of opportunity, I think Shenzhen is one of the best places that you can live in your life. If you have a dream, you can accomplish it here.
Yeah.
And there's no other place.
And if you're dedicated,
you have to dedicate, you have to grind.
Oh, it's all about the grind, man.
You know, like, many people are dedicated, but they don't want to grind.
Yeah, but you see, how can you achieve success if you're not willing to grind?
Right.
Yeah.
And for you, we're not going to go into the stories.
we will not go down that road.
Go down that road. But it's a pleasure from my side to see you evolve into such a prosperous career, into being an actor, into loving acting, which you always have. But
but like really like immersing myself into
immersing yourself into it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a very rare. I tell my staff, I tell everybody who I meet, you need to love what you do. You need to put passion into what you do.
Exactly.
And if you have that passion and you love what you do, the fucking world is open.
What's the old saying? When you do what you love to do, you will not work a day in your life.
We're gonna end this right here. So there's definitely gonna be a part 2 to our podcast.
For sure.
Say it again.
For sure.
No.
If you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life.
And this is how we're gonna end it, boys and girls. We're gonna fucking arrange a party. Not a party. I don't want to say party. We're gonna arrange a little meet and greet when you're cringy
Oh,
fucker.
the cringy.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We're gonna make a cringe party
Cringe party. Oh.
when this is released, and we can all come and watch it with you together.
I'll be hiding in the bathroom.
Yeah, whatever. But I'll bring my people to watch it with you in the bathroom.
Oh,
But man, it's really like, I love to see people who blossom in life, right? Like when I met you, you were not even close to involved in the film industry.
yeah, it was kind of a sideline thing. Yeah.
Not even at that point.
I think at that point, how long ago was this, man?
Dude, we met a long time ago.
Jeez, I
Man.
know it's a long time. I've just been racking
I mean,
my
like
brain.
one of the first person I met was Sophisticated.
That's right. That's right. And I think I met you through Sophisticated.
Yeah, dude, it was a
That's
lot.
right.
You're not even doing movies at this time.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it was
that
fucking.
predates 2014. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was like
2012?
the white cat parties.
Oh, that's like 2011.
That's when I first.
2012.
That's when I first met Sophisticated, because I was working
That's
with David
right.
and Brandon, and I
Yes.
made their logo and shit like that.
That's right. Yes.
It was a long time ago, man.
That's eons ago.
Eons ago, dude. Anyways, I'm definitely, in 1 year we're gonna have you back on here. There's so much fucking story I want to talk to you about, and plus what you're gonna do in the next year,
Yeah.
and plus Oriental Distillery did me good.
Oriental Distillery.
Yeah, dude.
This is what we're talking about. Good on you. Carry on.
Anyways, we're gonna make a cringe party to watch this fucking. Was it movie, right?
Yeah, it's an online movie. Yeah.
Online movie. We're gonna make a cringe movie party to watch this fucking shit. And we're good, dude.
All right, mate.
We're out.
Nice.
Shady Monkey Show. We're done. Cut.